Hey everybody, pianist and composer Emmett Cohen here. I know that many of you will be joining me and over 90 top jazz musicians for the Jazz Cruise 2024. As the co-host of the Jazz Cruise, I've been intimately involved in the planning and programming of the cruise, and I assure you it will be an amazing experience not to miss. But I'm here today to talk specifically about the Jazz Cruise 2025. I have the distinct honor of sharing the lineup of musicians with you all today. Ready to learn who's sailing? Here we go. Let's start with our performing groups. These are groups of musicians who regularly perform together and tour as a unit. Not to bury the lead, but the Jazz Cruise is proud to present one of the greatest vocalists of all time, Diane Reeves. One of 3 living NEA Jazz Master female vocalists, Diane has been one of the most popular performers on the Jazz Cruise over the years. Next, my co-host, mentor, one of the true giants of jazz, Christian McBride, will be joining us with one of his amazing ensembles. Christian always lights up the room, and we're excited to see what he comes on with. 2 more popular vocalists returning to the cruise are Kurt Elling and Ann Hampton Calloway. Besides their fantastic artistry, they're also really engaging entertainers. Keeping with the vocalist theme, the legendary Catherine Russell will be doing double duty, both performing with her band and hosting events during the week.
Clint Holmes will also be joining with his band.
Many believe that the trio configuration is the heart and soul of jazz, and you know I'm no stranger to that. The Jazz Cruise 2025 will feature 4 of the very best trios in the business, each one with deep Jazz Cruise roots. First, there's the Bill Charlap Trio, featuring Bill on piano and flanked, as always, with the stellar Peter Washington on bass and the inimitable Kenny Washington on drums. It's difficult to imagine the Jazz Cruise sailing without our next group, the Jeff Hamilton Trio, which features Tamir Hendelman on piano and John Hamer on bass. Star drummer Jeff Hamilton also serves as secret programmer of the Jazz Cruise. Yes, jazz is one of the most serious and important genres in music, but we also love to have a good time, and no one does that better than John Pizzarelli. In between sweet guitar licks and tricky song lyrics, Pizzarelli manages to keep a smile on everybody's face. You definitely won't want to miss his show. I mentioned 4 trios, but I've only named 3. The last, of course, is the Emmett Cohen Trio. I'll be sharing the bandstand with my regular group, Philip Norris on bass and Kyle Poole playing drums. As usual, we'll be inviting guests and performing in many different configurations throughout the week. Returning to the world of legendary jazz musicians, the Jazz Cruise is proud to present Arturo Sandoval and his band. One of the most decorated, celebrated, and technically proficient musicians in the world, Arturo has formed a new band that's truly lights out. If there's one person who embodies the spirit and theme of the Jazz Cruise, though, it's my dear friend, close collaborator, and true national treasure, Mr. Houston Person. He and his quartet have been entertaining guests on the cruise every year since the first sailing, and he continues to make people smile and dance well into his 80s. Finally, we're super thrilled to be introducing a group that is both new yet familiar to the Jazz Cruise. Robin Eubanks has performed with the trombone section of the band many times, but he's back on the ship performing with his brothers Kevin and Dwayne Eubanks. Guitarist Kevin was the leader of the Tonight Show band for 18 years, and Dwayne has toured the world on trumpet. We cannot wait to see the Eubanks Brothers in person. Before doing a rundown of the all-stars and big band members, let's single out 3 important and vital members of our team. Longtime music director and performer, as well as being my mentor, Shelley Berg has been elevated to artistic director for the Jazz Cruise, along with his customary role as host and performer of many shows. One of the highlights of every sailing of the Jazz Cruise is our big band, comprised of musicians who are leaders in their own right. To organize and conduct such an illustrious group is no mean task, and no one does it better than our big band director and our very own elegant John Clayton. Saxophonist Eric Marienthal is stepping into the music director role, a position he holds with all of the Jazz Cruise programming. Look for Eric to show up in various groups during the cruise as well. We should also recognize another musician, raconteur, and clarinetist Ken Poplowski, who has been the MC and producer of the Jazz Cruise Welcome Show for many years. And of course, no sailing of the Jazz Cruise takes place without the trombonist Wycliffe Gordon performing in several shows and hosting his legendary Sunday morning gospel show. Now it's time to share the names of our amazing all-stars and big band performers. Let's start with the rhythm section players. On piano, my dear friend, the incredible Sullivan Fortner, the wonderful Renee Rossness, Ted Rosenthal, and Tamir Hendelman. On the bass, we'll be joined by John Patitucci, Nicky Perrott, Peter Washington, Martin Wind, and Michael Karn. Our all-star drummers include Lewis Nash, the fantastic Herlin Riley, Tim Horner, and of course Kenny Washington. And our horn section is second to none. The trumpeters are the amazing Randy Brecker, James Morrison, along with Bria Skonberg, Terrell Stafford, Sean Jones, and the great lead player Bijan Watson. Make no bones about it, this group can play trombone. Joining Wycliffe are Vincent Gardner, Marielle Bilston, John Allred, and Julianne Grahl. And we have some of the very best saxophonists in the world. In addition to Eric Marienthal and Poplawski, we have Alexa Tarantino, Camille Thurman, Godwin Louis, and Barry saxophonist Gary Simoleon. Not all the sidemen have been identified yet, and we may be adding a few players to the big band, but this is a boatload of jazz talent you won't want to miss. We're looking forward to seeing you on board in 2025.